You're listening to Speaking of Voice Acting, a show where we're going to interview some of the voice actors in the modding community. And our first guest is someone I am very happy to have because he is one of the most famous people in the Skyrim modding community.
I am?
Yes, and one of the first actors, actually the first actor to be on Interesting NPCs, Jay33721. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me. It's actually, really fun to, actually be on a podcast.
And actually talk to each other. Like, we've known each other for, 6 years, I'd say? How old is Skyrim Interesting?
Skyrim
it's like
is
6 years old.
Yeah, 6 years, probably about there. And this is actually the first time we're talking, I would say in person, but it's not really.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked via email and chat and stuff like that, but we never actually, heard each other's voices. It is still weird to, hear your voice talking, and because I already kind of associated in my head with Rumarin. So
You're like, oh, I'm doing voice editing now. Need to put this on an NPC.
Yeah, I mean, it is still weird. Like, even when I watch your Twitch channel, we'll get to that later, but, when I watch a Twitch, I'm like, oh, it's Rumarin. So it's just like, oh, it's hard to disassociate it. But you're your own person. You're an actual human being who has owned this voice many years.
Well, yeah, but I did really incorporate a lot of my mannerisms and sort of way of speaking into Rumarin, so,
There's a piece of you in him as well, I'd say.
Just a bit.
Well, I think that's one of the good things about letting actors sort of kind of incorporate a bit of themselves or give their own take on the lines, so that it kind of helps me avoid stereotypes. Like, if I have a voice in my head and it's like some famous actor, you don't want to have that character just be doing an impersonation, right?
Yeah. No, that's definitely understandable.
Yeah, so I always want the actors to put in a piece of themselves, to put in their own view, their own take on the character. So I think you did that. But let's go back first, 2012, because I think the Creation Kit came out in February of 2012, because Skyrim was 11/11/11, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So do you remember at all how you found the mod, the Interesting NPCs, when it came out? Because at the time, it was 0 endorsements, probably only a couple of downloads at most.
Honestly, I think I was just browsing the new page, probably. And, I was like, hey, I want to get into, voice acting and stuff like that. Because that's always something I've wanted to do. And, just sort of, why not give it a chance? And it all sort of snowballed from there.
And you're like, this looks all right. This mod isn't completely terrible. I might audition for that.
I mean, the idea of it was very interesting to me. I was so on board with the whole, oh my god, Skyrim NPCs are so one-dimensional, and the message of the mod resonated with me.
Okay. Even if the characters were a bit creepy at first.
Nah.
Yeah, there was only a handful. One of them, the one that you voiced, was Sadrin, who was
yes,
a big fan of Helga.
I actually found that entire character I couldn't stop cracking up when I was voicing that character. It was a non-stop laugh fest for me.
So this was the first mod you auditioned for. This wasn't one of many or a series that you had been.
I'm trying to remember if I'd actually done anything before Interesting NPCs, but I don't think so. I think Interesting NPCs was my debut.
Voice acting experience-wise, was this your first foray, or have you done theater work prior? I mean, I usually get both types. There's ones who've never done any voice acting, and there's ones who've done tons of acting outside of the mod community.
My only experience with voice acting-y stuff was honestly basically nothing. When I was a kid, and I got my first tape recorder, I'd pretend I was a radio channel and record, me doing radio stuff. But
right,
that's the only instance of voice acting stuff that I can think of. And I never even shared that with anyone. I was just, doing it for fun.
But that counts. That's experience. In a way, it is practice, right?
Tiny bit. And I was probably somewhere between 9 and 11.
Then you took a break from acting, and then you started getting back into it.
It was so hectic, the lifestyle just got the best of me.
Another thing that people might not know is you are responsible for a lot of the out of the box NPCs, I should say, like the ideas behind Dagri'lon, the like undead necromancer. Relic, I believe, was one of yours ideas.
Well,
the
yeah,
robot dwarven spider.
I had the very bare bones ideas and the amazing writers, you most of all, took care of the rest.
Hey, flattery will get you everywhere in this business.
Honestly, I have to say this. Honestly, I don't think that I would have done nearly as well at the voice acting stuff if the writing wasn't so good. That's, I mean, it's just a fact of life at this point.
Keep going. I'm all about tooting my own horn. But that's the thing. Me personally, my focus is usually on humans and like human characteristics and emotions, and because we're obviously very complex creatures and whatnot, but sometimes I do struggle with kind of thinking outside of the box, and I think you really help that by bringing these like, okay, what if we did this, what if we did that, and then those kind of possibilities kind of entered my head, and then I was able to write from that. But those ideas usually don't come in my head because I'm usually thinking about like natural sort of human archetypes, and so having someone like Relic or Iorel, which was like one of the really popular NPCs, the undead queen, and just having them in the mod just really adds to the overall diversity, I think. And
most of those NPCs were pretty much a fluke, because I got this voice changing program, and I was playing around with that, and I'd stumbled upon a couple sort of voice settings that sounded good, like the robotic one for Relic and the dark creepy one for Dagri'lon, and just very basic ideas that we worked together to flesh out.
So we shouldn't be thanking ourselves for these creative NPCs. We should be thanking this voice software.
Yeah,
the creators of this voice software. They get all the credit.
The voice software that I lost and can't even remember the name of anymore.
But that is true though. Like sometimes you can do 99% of the legwork, and that's probably the most important part, but just that inspiration, that spark, has to come from somewhere outside of yourself.
I suppose that does hold true.
So I do think that just exposing yourself to different things helps, and sometimes it's another piece of art, and sometimes it's a piece of voice software that happens to have multiple settings.
Yeah, just a guy alone in his room messing around with a funny program he found, and got a couple characters out of that.
Is there a favorite NPC, non-Rumarin NPC you have of the ones?
I'd have to think about that, because honestly, I mean, this is probably a bit bad on my part, but I never really played a lot with interesting NPCs installed, because I'd run into someone with my voice and it'd be like, ugh, this arsehole again. And
are you your own worst critique when you talk to yourself? You're like, oh, I want to redo those lines. Or...
Oh yes, I'd spent maybe an hour and a half on 20 minutes of audio.
That's the thing too, is that you're actually willing to redo thousands of lines, as we had to do at one point, because we upgraded your mic.
That was a very necessary thing that needed to happen. I was so unhappy with my quality, the voice quality, and the quality of my microphone.
What mic were you using before? You were using a sock, right?
I was using one of those bendy desktop mics. It had this wide base, and then this long bendy metal piece, the one with the little rings all around it, and like that, and just this tiny little crappy mic on top, and then I had a sock pulled over that.
That was one of the issues with getting the mic to you. Do you still live in the same place?
I live in Namibia, yes. It's actually a neighboring country of South Africa, so...
So we had to actually find a mic that ships to Namibia, because that was like difficult in its own, right?
Well, in those days, Amazon wasn't the most on top of the whole, worldwide shipping and all that stuff. It was kind of difficult. But, to be fair, I am still using that mic. Right now. Literally, right now, I'm using that mic.
It was a very good investment, and you can all hear it. But that was the thing. Like, you were willing to put in thousands of lines, or you were willing to put in thousands of hours of work and then redo all that just to increase the quality. And that's something that I think is rare, because you're not getting paid. No one's getting paid. We're all doing this out of love or whatnot. And it's so rare to find someone who can not only deliver the voice, deliver the sound quality, but also deliver like the effort. That's the thing that's most lacking, because there's no motivation other than just you wanting to do it.
What can I say? I was bored those days.
So it wasn't desire, it was just boredom.
No. I actually am still really passionate about the whole modding community for games in general, and custom content creation and stuff is, you know, some games I wouldn't even be playing them anymore if it wasn't for mods. So
it's your way of giving back.
It's my way of giving back.
You're
exactly.
just a generous soul. Let's move on to the most famous NPC in all of Skyrim, I'd say. One of the most. There's a couple others that might be more famous.
I was about to say Zora?
Yeah, but Rumarin, Eleonora's personal favorite companion.
Actually, it's just such an honor to know that she's a fan of mine. That just honestly blows my mind sometimes.
Yeah, when she gives her personal seal of approval, you know it's a big deal. But then that shows just how quality Rumarin is, right?
I hope so.
He's also one of the most drawn characters, I'd say, in terms of fan art. Like 90% of the fan art on Tumblr for interesting NPCs, or Skyrim mods in general, is of Rumarin.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of fan art of Rumarin, and it just, you know, sort of warms the heart.
Have you seen the plushie?
There's a plushie.
There is. Go to tumblr.com.
What? That's ridiculous. Honestly, that's adorable. That is,
isn't it?
Too cute. Too cute for words.
But you were saying about the fan art.
Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, I know that the art isn't about me as a person, but it's, you know, it's a character that I, not to be over dramatic, but I kind of poured my heart and soul into that character, into voicing him. And, you know, it's really nice to know that people appreciate what I've done. So, you know, it's very nice.
It warms the heart.
It does. It really does.
There's also a ton of slash fiction about Rumarin. I don't know if you've looked at that.
I've been too afraid to look into that stuff. Honestly, yeah.
That's not actually I don't want to say strangest, because we don't kink shame on this show, but that's not actually the most out of the box request that I've seen. There was actually one user, if you remember, that wanted custom Dagri'lon marriage lines and romance lines.
That one would have been strange.
What is the weirdest request you've gotten, I guess?
I haven't actually gotten very, very many weird requests. Like, I know I've done, you know, some extra Rumarin lines for other mods that want to integrate Rumarin into their mod, or, you know, have him interact with their NPC or something, but I haven't really actually gotten very strange requests.
No Lover's Lab stuff.
Thank God for that. No, but I would have totally been down to voice that stuff, honestly.
There's nothing wrong with that. We're all adults here. If they want you to moan into a microphone, you should, as an actor, give it your best moan.
It's the actor's creed.
You should do one right now, just so people can use it. You're using your proper mic.
I am.
People want to have Rumarin sex mods. Go for it. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think I'd do that. I'd rather not have my head explode from embarrassment.
Yeah. Rumarin seems like the kind of guy who wouldn't like really moan and stuff anyway. He would probably crack jokes in the middle of it.
Exactly. He'd actually make it really fun, I think.
He might deflect a little bit, I think, because like sex in general is kind of funny if you think about it, and at times awkward. We all have our awkward hang-ups, and it's kind of personal, and so I think he would kind of try and deflect at times.
I think he would.
Maybe after he got a little bit more comfortable with his partner, he might, get into it. But I think at
then
first
he'd
start
cracking jokes.
Yeah. What would Rumarin like suave talking sound like, you think?
Oh, I can't come up with any really good, like, Skyrim puns, like, off the top of my head.
But it would have puns in it, is what you're
Mind if I sheathe my sword?
saying. Yeah.
He'd probably... Although he does do the whole sword and sheath thing already, doesn't he? I don't know. So many
Maybe.
lines I can't even remember.
Yeah. It's all a blur.
Yeah. He did talk about his coin purse at some point, I know that.
Yes, that's a popular analogy, I think, to the point that I'll tell you a story. I had an NPC named Yushari, whom Rumarin has interacted with, but she's a Khajiit thief.
Oh yes, I remember.
Which you would
her.
know if you played the mod.
No, I remember her.
No, I have dialogue where she snatches Volwolf's coin purse, like actual literal coin purse, right?
Uh-huh.
And the actor, for years and years and years, thought I was referring to his balls.
Wait, what? Although, Khajiit really do have sharp nails.
Yeah. I don't know. She's like, she's talking about his balls, right? And I'm like, no, did you read the line like it was his balls? And she's like, yes. And this was years later, after it had already been in the mod for years and years, but it's just one of those things. Yeah.
That is absolutely hilarious, though. Well, it sounds like the kind of thing that I would do.
Yeah. And then just not tell me, not ask for clarification.
Yeah, no, it's just, this is perfectly normal.
This is the kind of behavior Rumarin would get himself into.
Honestly, probably is, though.
Maybe. He's not a good person. He's at best morally ambivalent.
Yeah. Which makes him so much more fun to voice. Probably makes him a lot of fun to write as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it does make the fandom a bit interesting because there's an overwhelming positive perception of him, even though he's not an overwhelmingly good person, like a positive person. So
he's like a bad boy wrapped up in a good boy package.
Yeah. Do you think he's a Thalmor? That's another theory that's out there.
Honestly, I don't think Rumarin would be a Thalmor. I don't think he has the patience to put up with that sort of shit. He wouldn't have the patience for the Thalmor's crap.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, you would think that the way they are, like basically Nazis more or less, they're just kind of extremely rigid and disciplined, that would go against his ethos more or less.
His ethos being, I'll bang anything with legs.
No, he's actually a prude. That's more of him deflecting or telling a joke in order to
I know.
Yeah. But
he does get very flustered in the some of the romance dialogue.
Right.
And I tried my best to bring that across, but
I think you did. It's part of your natural charm and awkwardness mixed together.
Oh, yeah.
Into the character, yeah. Because we're all a little bit awkward.
Oh, I'm very, very awkward. I will never say I'm not. I am strange.
No, so am I. But I will say that the fact that Rumarin is so happy-go-lucky would serve as the perfect cover if he was a Thalmor spy. So I'm neither confirming nor denying that.
I hadn't thought about that. The fact that he does disparage the Thalmor like he does, and
I mean, if you're a Thalmor recruit, if you want to have a spy on the other side, would you not pick somebody who was a little bit irreverent and the opposite of the Thalmor in personality?
That's not implausible. Insert X-Files theme.
Do you think he'll live long enough for TES 6?
Depends on when TES 6 comes, takes place. Although it'll usually be what?
Couple hundred years.
Anywhere between 2 and 600 years on from the previous game. That's usually, I don't know, maybe. I've always imagined him as fairly young in the way he is in Skyrim. Maybe not older than 100 and something.
When he gets really old, he might just get really cranky though and complain all the time.
Honestly, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Imagine an old gray-bearded Rumarin.
When I die, I want you to bury me in a coffin made of pie.
Although it wouldn't be pie, it would be something that old people can digest more readily.
Made of gruel.
Yeah, something like that. It'd be oatmeal, things, because when you're older, you
Oatmeal,
can't
yeah.
eat as much sweets and stuff. So, how it is.
Yeah. Although knowing
Um,
Rumarin, it'd probably be sweet rolls soaked in wine.
yeah, that's another thing though, is that like it's a good way to have you back on TS6 because your voice is so iconic, I should say, that it's hard to like use you for other NPCs. Like in Fallout 4, we had you voice a Mr. Handy.
And everyone said, it's Rumarin, he got turned into a robot. Yep, I saw.
Yeah. Have you ever auditioned for anything and people say, "Oh wait, you're Rumarin. Oh, we can't use you for this." Has that ever
No,
happened?
actually, I haven't. Rumarin's actually helped me get my
Really?
role as additional voices in Beyond Skyrim Bruma. So, he's part of my
Nice.
portfolio.
Nice.
But I did sort of a little bit try and change up the voice for that.
Because I did read on Tumblr someone saying, "Oh, I feel so bad killing these Rumarins in Beyond Skyrim."
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, so you do recognize the fact that your voice is so well known that you kind of have to tweak things a bit, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I do. Even with the other NPCs that I voiced in your mod, I tried my best to hide my voice as well as I could. For instance, Sadrin very nearly Rumarin's voice, but I think wasn't that the first one
That
I
was
did?
first. He predates Rumarin, so
Rumarin came later, but then
Rumarin actually stole his voice.
yeah, but then you get stuff like Relic and Dagri'lon where I use the voice changer, and Averna where I tried to make myself into a woman.
You did a very good job. It was very sexy.
Was I?
Oh yes.
I'd hope I was, because the amount of audio editing that went into that was staggering.
But that's the thing. Like I said, you're not afraid to do the work, so that's always good. You still play Skyrim or any of those Fallout or any Bethesda games? Or?
I actually just restarted Skyrim the other day. I was gonna try doing a pure mage build for a change, which I haven't done in forever, because I love my swords. And I do still play Fallout 4.
Are you going to play any of them for your Twitch channel? Because you have a Twitch
I
thing.
do have a Twitch channel. Problem is, I have actually tried to play a bit of Skyrim on Twitch, but I don't think my graphics card is really good enough to handle, the streaming plus the game itself. I'd have to upgrade first. So at the moment, all I'm playing on my Twitch channel is Terraria, which one of my top favorite games. I think it's like tied in first place with Skyrim, honestly.
Yeah, because I noticed a lot of the games you've been playing on your channel, which is twitch.com/Jay33721.
It's actually twitch.tv.
Oh, sorry. Edit that out. Which is twitch.tv/Jay33721.
Correct.
I got that right the first time, obviously.
Yes.
A lot of the
definitely.
games you're doing are really old school or 8-bit type games, side scrollers and things like that. Is it just a computer thing?
I've actually only done Terraria so far.
Oh, okay.
I did have a couple streams where I played, like, right in the beginning I played Dragon Age Inquisition a bit. That didn't really draw any interest because it's a fairly old game by any standard. Not really. I mean, it came out in
It's
what?
not that old. It's not Skyrim old.
It's not Skyrim old. It is definitely newer than Skyrim, but that didn't draw a lot of interest, and I can't really get Skyrim and Fallout to work right with the streaming just yet. So I'm only playing Terraria at the moment because that game is addictive, and I can't stop, and it's got so much replayability. It's perfect.
Yeah, but I do think, though, that you should eventually... I mean, I don't know if it's just like a logistical thing, but you should definitely try doing a Skyrim Let's Play, because I think that's where your bread will be buttered.
I definitely will once I can get my computer upgraded to the point where it actually works.
That's always a problem, right? So, donate to Jay's Twitch page and his Patreon so he can get a computer that actually works. Do you have a Patreon, by the way?
I do have a Patreon, but then again, that's another, like, it's more of a commitment, I think, than just a one-off donation.
That's
but
true.
I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Jay33721.
Nice.
Shameless plug.
No,
But,
that's what we're all about here. No shame.
But yeah, I am actually affiliated on Twitch now, so I can receive subscriptions on Twitch and, bits and stuff. Bits is, I don't know. Everyone should know what bits are on Twitch if you watch Twitch.
Have you ever thought of doing a Let's Play as Rumarin?
Now there's a thought.
Like role-playing Let's Play.
What if Rumarin was the Dragonborn? That'd be interesting. That'd be...
Because
hilarious.
I've talked to you about this, about possibly doing like a D&D session or just having voice actors and they'd play their characters, and I always thought that might be fun, but it's just way too hectic to organize. But if it's a Let's Play,
that might
you only have to rely on yourself, right? You don't have to rely on other people. And so as long as you're willing to put in the work, which you always are, I think that'd be an interesting idea.
I just need to try and recreate Rumarin in Skyrim SE.
Yeah, you just gotta picture a banana, because that's what people call him. They call him the banana elf, the banana bay.
A banana with makeup. No, sorry, war paint.
There you go. So I think that would be a good idea. I'll be looking for that, I know, on your Twitch channel.
I'm gonna say that right now that is probably gonna be happening sometime in the future.
And you can make it happen by donating to Jay's Patreon. But I think that's it for Skyrim related questions. Is there anything else you would like to tell people about yourself that people don't know?
That I'm currently melting because it's the middle of summer. And I have to have my aircon off because it's so loud that it interferes with audio quality. Nah, I don't know. There's not really. I'm an open book.
What's something that people don't know about you that would surprise them?
Something that people don't know about me that would surprise them? I crochet.
Crochet, nice. So you can make your own plushies, right? Is that what that is, crochet?
Well, probably, yeah. I mean, crochet, you can make... if you make plushies through crochet, that's called amigurumi. I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing that right.
I have no idea. I am like the whitest Japanese person in the world, but yeah, so you crochet?
I crochet, yeah, I make scarves and...
Have you ever posted any of your creations online?
I haven't, but I could send you some pictures on here and you can pop them up on screen.
Sure.
If you want, during the podcast. I don't know, blankets and scarves and hats and stuff. Not really anything too spectacular, although... I did make a really rather incredible lacy blanket thing for myself that looks awesome.
See, you could make that a high-level reward. See, I'm basically going to be your business manager for your patrons. High-level reward, I'll crochet you something Skyrim-related. How about that?
Could be interesting. Fun fact, I actually crocheted my sister's handbag.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm just that good. I mean, it doesn't look much like a handbag, but
So you're multi-talented: voice acting, crocheting,
singing. Don't forget singing,
and Twitch Let's Playing.
But that's not really that much of a feat. I mean, you've got to be dedicated for Twitch and stuff. But I just be myself. And all that stuff.
No, but it's the work that's the feat. It's the effort. It sounds easy, but it's really hard to kind of constantly push out new content. So I think that having effort and being willing to put in the effort is a skill in itself and something you have mastered, my friend.
But I mean, the whole Twitch, people call it the Twitch, or the stream dream, or I'm not sure what they call it anymore.
Stream dream. I like that.
But it's like... Well, ever since the first time I saw my first YouTuber, playing a game and presenting it to an audience, I was like, you can do that? And then I found out you can do that for money. And I was like, I want that to be my life. And then I found out about Twitch, which is, I don't know, in many respects, Twitch is better than YouTube because you're actively interacting with your audience.
Yeah.
As you play and got the chat up on the second screen and,
See, that's the part that scares me, the live entertainment aspect of it. But that's a positive for you?
Well, yeah, I've always been a bit of an entertainer. But for me, Twitch A big part of it, yes, is the audience interaction and all that stuff. But also another big part of it is I'm very lazy and don't want to have to do video editing.
Yeah, that's true. So you could just save yourself the editing by just saying, just leaving it all out there, like having mistakes, and just doing it live. We'll just do it live. It's like that meme of Bill O'Reilly.
Precisely.
Fuck it, we'll just do it live.
Precisely. And, I'm actually having the time of my life doing Twitch. It's a lot of fun. I've only got like a bit over 100 followers yet, but
right now, in a year's time, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
That's the thing. You gotta have like the effort. You gotta have the passion, because with the passion, it makes the effort easy. So,
true.
I hope your
Very
Twitch
true.
channel blows up.
I hope so too.
Yeah, .tv/Jay33721. And once again, thank you for just being an awesome voice actor and voicing one of the iconic NPCs.
Thank you for making one of the most iconic mods that Skyrim has.
We're just
seen,
patting each other on our back.
Yeah, it's like, good boy.
This is just the most narcissistic podcast there ever was. But
oh, yes.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Thanks for doing this interview. And we should do this again sometime.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me, and I hope to do more voice work at some point when I'm not super bloody busy with Twitch and Twitch. Twitch keeps me really busy.
All right, cool. That's it for this episode. Tune in next week when we have on... I don't know who we're going to have on, because honestly, I have like 5 interviews lined up. Natalie Proudlock, who voiced Audrey. Lila Paz, who voiced Anam La. James McLaughlin, the host of Atomic Radio, and the world-famous Potastic Panda. So I've got all these interviews scheduled next week. We're probably going to make this a weekly thing, but I don't know which episode we're going to release next. Maybe I'll draw names out of a hat. I don't know. But if there's a specific actor you want to have interviewed, say so in the comments. Let me know. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. All right. Talk to you guys later.